So welcome to the Central California coast, everybody. This is the tiny town of Cayucos, located about 4 miles north of my home in Morro Bay. And I was really excited because last night I saw the forecast was going to be for some of this soupy fog for not too long this morning. Sunrise is about 7:18 and we're at about 7 o'clock now. And by 9 o'clock, it's supposed to be gone. So I'm going to try to get in a few locations and talk about why I like photographing fog. So I'm doing a shot just right down the pier, and it's kind of a cool shot. I'm going to turn this camera around. So this will give you an idea of what I'm photographing. I love those lights down there. I'm shooting with the 24-105 Sony on an A7R5. The thing about fog, it just adds a lot of mystery, and it kind of obscures those backgrounds, which are really cool. I really kind of like that. This isn't just a high overcast. This is the fog is on the ground. And so I'm going to give you my exposure here for this first shot. 6 seconds, f11 at 100 ISO. I do have a polarizer on. I wouldn't think it's doing much this morning. It's really not. But perhaps later, as we go along, it will. I'm just hoping this fog hangs in and gives me at least about an hour and a half window to photograph. You can hear the waves crashing out here. Okay, so I'm gonna just maybe get a little more in line with these curls. And my idea is to get something that, you can see one coming in, that will break and kind of descend out into the fog. Something like that. Let me get my camera set up here. And focus. And then just pan with it a little. That's not much. Okay, and I'm going to get out of 2-second timer delay. The image is still processing. I'm going to drop to F8. And I just did a little bit of an abstract on that when I pulled the camera back during the exposure, because you got to remember, I'm still at about 3 seconds exposure time here. And I'm just doing some abstracts that I'm really kind of digging. I'm not trying to freeze these waves. Comes one. That's pretty cool. I'm really liking what I'm getting here. Here comes another one. I'm at 1 second now, just letting the water paint for me. And I might want to go to F11 so I can open the shutter a bit more. I'm back out to 2.5 seconds. And I didn't get that wave, but we'll wait for this next one. I'm going to start the exposure now as it's curling. Hopefully that's a good one there. Yeah, I think 2.5 might be a little too much. So I'll bring the ISO up to 200 and drop it down to 1.3. Here comes one. just mistimed that just a tad. Let's see if we can get this next one a little bit better. This is going to be a good one. As you can see, I'm probably a mile south of Cayucos, and the fog has already thickened up again. And maybe it's going to hold till 9 a.m. It's almost 7:25 now. So I would like to get a little bit around Morro Bay filmed, and then we're going to try to get down to my favorite state park, Montana de Oro, that's down in the Los Osos Baywood area. And if we can get those 3 locations in with some fog, I will think we've had a pretty successful morning. So I better pay attention to the road and not to my video right now, so I'll get back to you. Okay, so we are coming down to the waterfront, better known as the Embarcadero in Morro Bay. And I just see another photographer over there to the left, walking with the tripod. It's a great area to photograph, and one of the reasons Beri and I moved here. It's just beautiful. We can walk outside our door and we're right on the bay and the water. We get these soupy, misty mornings and sometimes some fabulous sunsets. And we're at a time of the year now in mid-October where the fog season should be coming to an end. It's kind of vacillating. We just had a week of nice, sunny, actually warm weather, which we call our Indian summer. And then it just went right back. The temperatures plummeted like 20 degrees. And all of a sudden, this soupy fog started to come in. It's a really tricky thing to forecast fog. I go to the National Weather Service site, and they didn't have this in there this morning. But then I watch a couple local TV stations, and the local forecasters had put it in. And it probably, if I drove a mile or 2 inland, I'd be out of it and in sunshine right now because the sun is up. But we're coming down to the Morro Bay Rock. You would be seeing it straight out ahead of me right now if it was a clear morning. And I'm hoping, I'm looking over my left shoulder back towards the town of Morro Bay, and I can't even see it, it's so thick. But there's another place. There's the base of the rock. You can see just a faint outline coming up. And one of the things I'm seeing to my left is, I guess you would call it a pod of otters. And otters always draw a crowd, but it's so early and cold down here this morning. It doesn't appear that anybody's here. So let's get out and take a look. So as I'm getting set up, I've put the camera onto the otters, and they tend to huddle together for protection. And they wrap themselves in seaweed also for protection, so they don't float off. And I've been out here at times where they'll hear a noise and they'll all collectively dive under, just disappear. So I'm going to go with a 100-400 lens and try to just get in tight on some of them. Let's see here, I'm just getting my frame set up. So I'm going to start out pretty high ISO, 400 f8, 1/200. I'm going to drop this back down into a 2-second timer mode to steady it out. There's a nice group of them right there. They're mostly still asleep. Some are moving a little bit, but not many. All right, so we are coming up by the Morro Bay golf course, which sits up on a hill. It's built really on the side of a hill. Fun little golf course to play, but it's very crowded. You got views of the ocean from 16 of the 18 holes, and you can imagine people clamor to get on this course, and it's not all that expensive. But we're going to be coming up through some eucalyptus trees, and I wanted to show you the fog still hanging in here. And hopefully I don't get a flat tire. I'm getting a low right rear sensor warning that I may have a slow leak. But it seems to be holding, and I want to get to Montana de Oro and get that filmed, and then I will have everything I want for this video. But you can see the fog's still holding. We're doing well. So welcome to Los Osos. You can see the fog is still in, but I'm sensing the sun coming from my left. And if there is a gas station close by, I'm going to have to swing in and check this tire. I'm getting a little concerned about it. Okay, we are back en route, and we are going through Los Osos Baywood on our way to Montana de Oro. And what I'm thinking of shooting here, and this will be the last stop of the morning, is there's some cool eucalyptus trees in here, and they look really good. Here's some coming up on our right. And but we're going to get in a grove of them, and then above a grove, and see if we can make some pictures with the fog, kind of making the trees recede, you know, and that's kind of the idea. I got air in the tire, says I'm back up and running again. That'll be something later on to keep an eye on, but we'll be able to complete the shoot. It's 6 minutes past 8. And the fog's supposed to burn by 9 o'clock, so a little bit of nip and tuck here. And now I get a slow driver wanting to go 25 in a 40 zone. That's always fun when you're rushing to get a spot. I know you guys have all been through that. But I'll catch up with you when we get to the first stop. So we're on location here. This was the first grove I wanted to photograph. And I'm not going to waste too much time here, because there's one other area, but I'm trying to think what lens I want. Probably the 24 to 105 would be the best. And we're just going to leave the camera running there. And I'm going to go back and get my 24 105 out of the car. Okay, so I am back. Gonna turn another video camera on. Kind of new to all this video stuff, you guys, so you gotta bear with me. I'm getting the hang of it. And let me see if I can handle this. I'm gonna actually go to a little bit lesser aperture. So I can, I'm trying to work out my settings here. I'm gonna go 1/125th f8 1600, and I'm going to get out of my timer mode here, so just bear with me. Okay, not really digging that scraggly tree right in the front there, so I'm just going to walk around here. That could look very nice. I don't know what you're seeing in the video there. I'm going to even open up to 5.6 to just let the focus go. The fog is forcing these trees to recede, and I want the focus to kind of match, or the depth of field to match, if that makes sense. And I'm just poking around in there. 24 to 105, 1/25th, f5.6, 1600 ISO. I do have a polarizer on. I'm just lazy. Well, actually not lazy, but in a rush to not lose this fog. And I'm gonna do one pointing up. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so this is my last location. You can see the sun starting to punch through. We're gonna lose this very quickly, so I'm gonna get the camera on. I got a 100, 400. I'm gonna go to F8 and dial down this ISO because I'm back on a tripod. We're gonna try 1/100th of a second. I am gonna go back into a 2-second timer mode. I find with the long lens, if there's no wind, I can get by a 2-second delay. Not sure if I'm digging this or just being backlit. There's not a lot of definition. I gotta point more towards the sun, but then that's gonna be a tough exposure, but I think I got it. And I'm back. I know you guys do that too. You think the shoot's over and then you go, whoa, look at that light. But I hope this kind of whetted your appetite. I'm looking right into the sun, so I'm sorry if I'm squinting. But I hope this whetted your appetite for what Misty Fog can do. And I know a lot of you live in parts of the world where you actually get that ground fog, that radiant fog, and we get that here in California. Sorry, cars are going by, but more out in the Central Valley and not here on the coast. We just don't have that temperature variance to produce that. But we do have other things like the fog I showed you. And I think it's just about over, and it's time for me now to head home and say hi to Beri and have some breakfast. And hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below. I'm trying to grow this channel and do it every week, passing on information to you guys, but I need some help. If you can hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the little bell alert, that would really help me to grow this channel. And we're making inroads, but I need some more help. So until next week, you guys take care, keep creating. It's great for the soul. We'll see you then.